We all learn new tools. We memorize the buttons. Beat. But then nothing changes. The real question is, what do you actually do with it?
Yeah, that's the real hurdle, right? You learn the mechanics, but the value is just missing.
Welcome to the deep dive. We are looking at a very specific roadmap today. It's a guide to turning AI skills into actual profit.
And career capital, which is huge right now.
Right. And the best part is you don't actually have to quit your day job. You definitely don't need to go start some stressful, high-risk agency.
Yeah, please don't do that. It's exhausting.
Our mission today is to help you bridge a massive gap in the modern workplace. It's the gap between just knowing how to prompt a chatbot and becoming an indispensable problem solver.
It really is a critical shift in mindset, evolving from just being a user of technology to being a core problem solver.
Exactly. So here's our roadmap for this deep dive. We're going to explore the evolution of the AI market.
Just to understand where we actually are right now.
Yeah. Then we'll break down the critical difference between being a builder and a consultant.
We'll also look at why this specific career window is rapidly closing. The urgency here is very real.
Right. And finally, we're going to walk through a highly actionable 4-step framework. It's something you can execute within your current job starting tomorrow morning.
Love that. No waiting around.
So let's start with this concept from the sources that I found fascinating, the illusion of the tool.
Oh, this is a big one.
I was looking at this roadmap, and it really struck me how focused we get on the tool itself. We think mastering Claude or ChatGPT is the finish line.
But when you look at where the actual money flows in business, the tool is, well, it's almost irrelevant.
Exactly. Why is that?
The market has moved through distinct phases recently, and understanding that progression explains why the tool isn't the real prize. Think back just a little bit. First, we had simple AI tools, mostly basic chatbots, simple text generators.
All businesses just wanted some quick help writing marketing copy, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was mostly a novelty. Then the market shifted to done-for-you systems.
Right, where companies realized they wanted the benefits of AI, but they completely lacked the time to learn it.
They just wanted the final result handed to them. Next came the AI agent builders. Businesses realized they needed more than just a quick workflow.
They needed something more robust.
Right. They needed agents that could complete specific, multi-step tasks. And that brings us to the current frontier. We are firmly entering the era of agentic AI.
Let's pause there for a second. We need to make sure we're on the same page. How do we clearly define agentic AI for someone just stepping in?
Simple. It's AI that plans, acts, and executes work on its own.
That is a massive leap from a simple chatbot.
Oh, totally. We're talking about software that doesn't just wait for a prompt. It actually figures out the steps to solve a problem and then does it.
It fundamentally changes how corporate work gets done. You aren't just speeding up a task. You are entirely offloading the execution.
Exactly.
Gartner actually put a number on this shift, and the scale is wild. They project $202 billion in agentic AI spending by 2026.
That is a lot of money moving very fast.
It really is. Knowing just one tool right now is like knowing how to swing a hammer. But companies aren't buying hammers.
They are paying for someone to build them a house.
That analogy is perfect.
You have to look at the macro data to see how desperate companies are for house builders. Consider the McKinsey gap.
Walk me through that.
So McKinsey found that 88% of organizations use AI somewhere in their daily operations.
Okay.
But only a third have turned that usage into actual deployed projects.
So everyone is playing with it, but almost nobody is actually building anything useful.
Precisely. And we need to talk about why that happens. Companies are incredibly messy right now.
Managers are reading headlines and buying enterprise AI seats for their teams, right?
Yeah, and employees are testing tools everywhere, maybe writing emails or summarizing PDFs, but they lack actual measurable business results.
They get frustrated by hallucinations or limitations, and the technology just gets abandoned. So I have to ask you this. Is mastering Claude just a distraction?
The tool itself is temporary, but the problem-solving skill remains.
Focus on the business result, not the specific tool.
Exactly. Because if you just know how to use Claude, every time they drop a new model update, you're going to feel like you're falling behind.
You're constantly playing catch-up with the technology.
Right. It's exhausting. But if your actual skill is diagnosing why a company's data pipeline is choked up,
you just adapt whatever new tool exists to solve that evergreen problem.
Which brings us to the most important shift you need to make. Diagnosing over executing.
This is where the real skill and the real money actually lies.
It really is.
Let's really dig into this by comparing two distinct roles, the builder and the consultant. A builder simply executes incoming requests.
They get an order from a client or a boss, and they just build the automation.
They are essentially order takers.
Right. If a client asks for a chatbot, the builder builds the chatbot, collects their fee, and leaves.
But a consultant diagnoses the real pain first. They don't just take the order.
Give me an example of how that looks in practice.
Sure. A company says, we need an AI chatbot for our internal wiki. A builder just makes it. But the consultant sits down and asks why they want it.
And through that conversation, they discover the real issue.
Exactly. They find out their new employee onboarding process is painfully slow and confusing.
The chatbot was just a symptom of the frustration. The broken onboarding process was the actual disease.
And solving the disease is highly valuable. The AI consulting market is projected to pass $64 billion by 2028.
$64 billion. That is a staggering opportunity for anyone willing to step up.
It's huge. Yet, despite all that money, 30% of company AI projects are completely abandoned.
That is a crazy failure rate.
Why do they get abandoned so often? Walk me through the mechanism of how a big corporate project just fails like that.
Well, because they lack a clear business goal from the start. A director eagerly adopts the latest tech because they want to look innovative.
They force it onto a team without targeting a specific pain point.
Exactly. The team tries it, it adds friction to their day, and they quietly stop using it. Only about 6% of companies using AI are actually good at it.
So the demand is clearly there, the budgets are approved, but the execution is failing miserably.
Which leaves a wide open lane for those who can actually diagnose the root cause.
Let's break down the two main paths into this kind of work. You have the independent path and the in-house path.
The independent path requires serious sales skills. You need high ownership, you're constantly hunting for clients.
You work with multiple different businesses.
It's significantly more risk, but it comes with potentially more freedom and higher upside.
Then there's the in-house path, which the sources strongly advocate for. This one leverages your deep company knowledge.
You keep your steady paycheck.
Yeah.
You fix things from the inside out.
I was looking at that IBM 2026 CEO study, and the numbers are wild. 2 years ago, maybe 26% of large organizations had a chief AI officer.
Okay.
Now it's sitting at 76%.
That is a massive jump in a very short window.
It tells me big corporations are panicking to formalize this. They know they need AI strategy at the executive level.
But it feels like mid-sized companies are probably still just staring at the wall waiting for someone to lead.
Mid-sized companies are completely wide open. They don't have the budget for a chief AI officer yet.
But they desperately need people to step up and prove the value of the tech.
So why is the in-house path an advantage right now?
Because employees already know the messy internal processes and bottlenecks far better than any outside consultant ever could.
You already know exactly where the company's workflows are broken.
Exactly. You know which weekly reports take too long. You know where the data gets stuck between the marketing team and the sales team.
You already hold the map to the buried treasure.
Today's deep dive is brought to you by our premium supporters.
If you enjoy our deep dives into cutting-edge research, consider joining our community online.
Now, back to the analysis.
Okay, we've established what you need to do. You need to diagnose real business problems, preferably starting in-house where you already have the context.
Now we need to discuss why you must act immediately. Because the window is not going to stay open forever.
And we need to talk about how you actually prove your worth to leadership. But before we get to the roadmap, let's address a massive psychological trap.
The trap of endless learning.
It is incredibly easy to just keep taking courses, reading newsletters, and watching YouTube videos.
The source material is brutally honest about this. Proof beats more learning.
You know, reading through the source material on this, it actually hit a nerve for me. Because I catch myself doing this all the time.
Oh, really?
I still wrestle with the tutorial loop myself.
Yeah.
2-sec silence. It feels productive, but it's really just hiding.
It's a very comfortable place to hide. You get the dopamine hit of acquiring new knowledge, and you feel like you're advancing your career.
But you aren't actually changing any business metrics. You're just hoarding information.
Let's contrast two types of evidence you can present to an employer. Weak proof versus strong proof.
Okay, what is weak proof?
Weak proof is saying, I know how to use Claude, or I can build AI agents.
That is just listing a tool on your resume. It doesn't tell the business owner how you're going to help them.
Exactly. Now, here is strong proof. You walk into a meeting and say, I built an AI agent that reduced our customer response time by 35%.
The difference is night and day. The strong proof connect the technology directly to a tangible business outcome.
And that specific outcome carries a serious financial premium in today's market.
Let's look at the financial reality of this. The PwC finding on salary premiums is staggering.
What exactly did they find regarding pay?
They tracked the pay premium for AI skills, and it jumped from 21.5% to 56%.
And that jump happened in just one single year.
Think about why that is. Companies are desperate for people who can actually execute.
They have the budget, but they don't have the talent to bridge the gap between the tool and the workflow.
So they are paying a massive premium for the few people who can show strong proof.
But we must issue a warning to you right now.
The label of AI consultant or AI expert has an expiration date.
It will not stay special forever. Think about the history of technology in the workplace. Think about the term internet marketer in the late 90s.
It used to sound incredibly cutting edge. If you knew how to put a business on the internet, you were a wizard.
Now, it's just called marketing. If you don't know the internet, you simply aren't a marketer.
Or think about the Excel accountant from the 80s.
Right. Nobody brags about being an Excel accountant anymore.
Using spreadsheets simply faded into the baseline expectations of standard office jobs. If you don't know Excel, you can't be an accountant.
AI is going to follow that exact same trajectory. The window of opportunity to capture that 56% salary premium is open right now.
It's open because things are early, chaotic, and messy. People are experimenting without any clear strategic plan.
Exactly.
Will the title of AI consultant completely disappear?
It will eventually just become an expected part of standard corporate roles?
Yes, just like Excel accountant became a regular office job.
Which is exactly why building your proof right now is vital. You do not want to be starting from zero when this just becomes a baseline requirement.
You want to establish your value and capture the premium while the demand is high and the supply of competent people is low.
So how do we actually do this on Monday morning?
We've built the urgency. We understand the landscape. Now we're going to provide the exact step-by-step roadmap to get this done.
This is how you execute the plan without getting overwhelmed.
There is a golden rule from the source material that you have to internalize. Constraint first, KPIs second, build third.
Let's break that rule down carefully because the order is everything.
A constraint is the bottleneck that is physically slowing the business down. It's a friction point.
A KPI is a specific, measurable number that tracks business success. It's the metric you want to move.
And the build is the actual AI solution you create to move that number.
Notice that building the solution is the very last step. Most people do this backward.
Step 1 of the roadmap, audit your role.
You need to look closely at your normal work week. Find the bottleneck.
You're looking for the painful, repetitive tasks. Maybe you notice that inbound sales leads sit untouched in an inbox for 3 days.
Because the sales team is too busy to qualify them.
Or maybe middle managers waste 5 hours every single Friday just copying and pasting data from 3 different platforms to build a weekly report.
Step 2. Pick one small project and prove it works.
Do not try to boil the ocean. Don't pitch a massive company-wide AI overhaul. Pick one specific metric to improve.
Let's say the customer support team is drowning in repetitive tickets.
You build a simple workflow using Claude to automatically draft suggested replies for the human agents.
You track the data, and you prove that you dropped the average response time from 10 hours down to 4 hours.
That is a measurable, undeniable victory.
It is incredibly important to contrast acute automation with a useful business project here.
Acute automation is using Claude to write your own personal emails a little faster. It's neat, but nobody cares.
Right. A useful business project is cutting the entire team's response time in half.
You are using the exact same tool, but providing an entirely different level of value to the company.
Step 3 of the roadmap. Become the problem finder.
Once you deliver that first small win, patterns will start emerging everywhere.
Okay, so you've built this little workflow and saved the support team 6 hours a week. The danger here is stopping right.
You don't want to just be the guy who fixed one thing. You have to evolve.
Exactly. You notice that the marketing team and the sales team have similar data entry bottlenecks.
You stop waiting for managers to ask for automations. You start spotting the broken processes yourself.
You transition from an order taker to a diagnostic consultant. You become the person who finds the real problem.
Step 4. Turn that proof into a formalized role.
You have to show leadership what you have actually done. You can't be quiet about this.
Show them the bottlenecks you found. Show them the projects you shipped. Most importantly, show them the hard financial results.
You make your value completely obvious and impossible to ignore.
Let's talk about a real-world example of this from the sources.
I absolutely love this story. It's about a professional named Alan.
Alan was a recently laid-off email developer.
She didn't have a fancy chief AI officer title.
She definitely didn't have a deep technical machine learning background or a computer science degree.
But she didn't just stick to basic prompting either. She learned how to string different tools together.
Using workflow platforms like NAN, combined with Claude Code, a platform like NAN just connects different apps to automate your workflows.
She started building small, highly focused projects.
And crucially, she recorded short video demos of her systems working, and she posted them online. She made her proof visible to the market.
When recruiters reached out and asked what she had built, she didn't just attach a standard PDF resume.
She sent them direct links to her live, working AI systems. They could see the value instantly.
Whoa, imagine skipping the entire HR process just by sending a CEO a link to your working AI.
It is incredibly powerful. The proof spoke entirely for itself. There was no need to debate her credentials.
Because of that strong proof, Ellen landed a head of AI role at a growing 15-person company.
And she did it all within a single year, just by focusing on constraint, KPI, and building proof.
So I have to clarify this one more time for anyone still tempted to just go play with tools.
Why is building the solution the very last step?
Building without an identified bottleneck just creates isolated, useless tech.
Building without a constraint creates useless, disconnected automation.
Exactly. You end up with a random workflow sitting on a server somewhere. It doesn't integrate into the daily routine.
Nobody uses it, nothing improves, and the company assumes AI is a failure.
Let's synthesize the overarching theme of this deep dive.
The true professional value is not in memorizing the perfect prompt template.
The value is in connecting the AI technology to a measurable, undeniable business outcome.
You have to completely shift your professional vocabulary.
You stop going into meetings and saying, I can build AI agents.
You start going into meetings and saying, I saved this department 15 hours a week.
It's like stacking Lego blocks of operational leverage.
That is a much better way to visualize it. Stacking Lego blocks of data and leverage.
Each small, proven system is a block. First, you build a block that saves 4 hours of manual data entry.
Then you snap on another block that reduces customer support errors by 10%.
Suddenly, you've built this foundational operational structure. You build a career brick by brick, metric by metric.
You become a load-bearing pillar that the business fundamentally relies upon to function.
It is the ultimate career insurance policy in an era of massive technological change.
Because the data shows that almost 2/3 of employers will pass people over for promotions if their skills are outdated.
By doing this, you protect your current role and you massively accelerate your future earning potential.
So here is our call to action for you as we wrap this up.
Look closely at your own work week tomorrow.
Observe your team. Look at where the daily friction lives.
What is the one manual, painful process everyone constantly complains about?
The one that nobody ever actually takes the time to fix.
That is your first constraint. That is your very first Lego block.
Identify it. Find the KPI that measures it. Build the smallest useful solution to fix it.
And then, crucially, show the tangible result to someone who matters.
We want to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Something that builds on everything we just discussed about the closing window of opportunity.
If AI eventually becomes as standard and expected as Microsoft Excel, what happens to the people who are waiting for permission to learn it? Beat. Don't wait for the title. Build the proof. OTRO music.